Welcome back to Rudy's 1/6 World for a look at what may very well be the last announcements of the year for new figure pre-orders. And as should be expected, both come to us courtesy of Hot Toys. And the first announcement is the 6-scale version of Mace Windu from Star Wars Attack of the Clones. And it is one of the figures that was teased as part of the 20th anniversary celebration, to go along with the Anakin and Padme that were also recently announced. So, as a character, I always loved that Sam Jackson made it into the Star Wars universe. And of course, there's that story about how he asked for a purple lightsaber, and as such, we ended up having a unique color for the weapon for one of the lead Jedi Masters on the Council. And fingers crossed, he's still alive in the universe. I always did find his death a little unsatisfying in Revenge of the Sith, so as no one seems to stay dead in the Star Wars universe, they're definitely taking a page out of Marvel. Maybe there's a chance for further adventures with an older Master Windu, but let's talk about the figure here, and let's start with the sculpt. And I've already been browsing Facebook and social media posts, and it looks like the sculpt is a little divisive. I personally do think in some shots he looks better than others, but I think the sculpt overall is a really good one, and I can clearly see Sam Jackson there. I think what may be throwing people off a little bit is that this is supposed to be a much younger version of the actor, as opposed to what we've been seeing more recently in his MCU appearances. I don't think it's a bad sculpt at all. Might not be 100% there, but it's pretty close. As far as the rest of the package, I think it's a great release from Hot Toys. Figure poses extremely well, and I think the tailoring on the clothing, including the dual layers of Jedi robes, is really impressive, as well as the work on the boots. And the robes also do look to be nicely wired, so I think this figure is going to be able to look really dynamic if you take your time with it. Then the lightsaber also looks great, and it is USB powered, which is the new standard for lightsabers on figures. I don't think they've actually released any of the USB powered figures yet, so it'll be interesting to see how they work in hand. Now, this figure also includes some Clone Wars armor pieces, so you are able to get some alternate looks with the figure, which is nice if you are a Clone Wars fan. Personally, I've only watched the live-action movies and shows, so I'm not as well versed in this part of the Star Wars universe. So for me, they're nice additions, but I just want to display the figure in his standard robes. But again, nice options. The other interesting note here are the eyes. Up to this point, all of the recent Hot Toys announcements have included a rolling eye system, which I thought was going to become the standard on their figures going forward. But this one doesn't include that, so not sure if it's a case of them having this prototype completed for a while and not wanting to revisit, or otherwise there's some kind of way they're approaching which figures get the eye system versus don't get the eye system. So regardless, I think it's a great looking figure and a great addition to the Star Wars line. Now for me, I am not a heavy Star Wars collector, but I do keep some of these figures on my watch list. And this year I did order Reva from the Obi-Wan show, so I'm highly selective with the 6-scale Star Wars figures I do get, just because the sheer volume of releases can be overwhelming. But I do think this one is going to be a pre-order for me. I think Mace is one of the prequel trilogy characters that always stood out to me, and I think the purple lightsaber is going to look really nice on display. Paired up with the Obi-Wan from the Disney Plus show, I could start having a nice display of lit up lightsabers with Mace, Obi-Wan, and Reva. So that's a quick look at this release from Hot Toys. Let me know what you think about the sculpt, since it does seem to be a little controversial, and if there are any other things you might hope Hot Toys tweaks here. Truth is, Hot Toys is on a roll these days, not just with announcements but also with releases, as they noticed the DeLorean will release early in January, and I believe the integrated Spidey suit and the Mark V suit-up edition have already been spotted outside of Secret Base, so they are cranking out releases and announcements. But again, thank you for watching, and hope you all have a happy new year. And if you are enjoying the content, please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll touch base on the next video.